From the Fidelity Bank Foundation studio, PBS Kansas presents One-on-One with Victor Hogstrom.
This is where the stars of Kansas align for great conversation. My guest this week is business and community leader Darryl Kelly. Kelly has made a name for himself as a doer, a take-charge leader, focused on bringing people and teams together to get hard stuff done. A native of Newport News, Virginia, and an Air Force veteran, he currently serves as Information Systems Project Manager for Equity Bank. In that role, he oversees the bank's technology and computer networks. In his off time, Kelly serves on several boards and committees focused on mentoring young people and improving the quality of life for all Wichitans. He was honored with the Exceptional Young Leader Award by the Wichita Chamber of Commerce in 2021. That's just the latest of many accolades Darryl has received for his countless professional and personal achievements. He also has a charming and accomplished family that we'll talk about as well, as I go one-on-one with Darryl Kelly right now. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Victor Hogstrom. It's a pleasure to welcome Darryl Kelly to the program.
Thank you so much, Victor, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Darryl, you seem to have emerged as a leader and role model for young African Americans in the Wichita community. Now tell us about some of the things you've been involved in along those lines.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first, let me take just a moment to give honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who's the head of my life. And without him, I wouldn't be able to do anything that we're talking about today. So I give him the glory for that. But as it relates to trying to be a role model and an influence for people that look like me, it's one of those things where I was brought up to be the change that you want to see. And a lot of times we look around for folks to kind of solve problems, but we're actually the ones that need to do it. And so I've my wife and I, my family, we've kind of taken on the mantra that we want to be that change. We want to move things forward for young Black professionals in Wichita and abroad. So we're excited to help out with that.
Elaborate on that a little bit. How were you brought up, and why would you say that?
So where I'm from, it would be really called like the hood, right? We're from a place that outsiders looking in might think it's not the best of circumstances or situation, but in the midst of all of that, we really had an amazing upbringing, from my parents to my grandparents to my aunts and uncles to the people, our neighbors and teachers, everybody in the community. And we were really taught to, have respect for, everyone, but also to really not just talk about stuff, but actually be about the business of doing it. And so when my brothers and sister growing up, we really saw that, and that's what we wanted to emulate and model. And so I attribute a lot of that to my upbringing, from my parents and then from our neighborhood and situations around us.
And you're from?
Newport News, Virginia. So it's an amazing place. Like I said, the neighborhood that we grew up in wasn't necessarily the best. There was a lot of crime, a lot of violence, a lot of poverty around us. But from those lessons, we learned a lot of valuable things, like being appreciative for the things that you do have, not taking for granted opportunities and situations. And so it was really impactful for me and my siblings growing up on how to conduct yourself as an individual, as a person, as a believer of Christ, how to really be the best individual person that you can be.
So, Darryl, what brought you to Wichita?
So that's a really cool story. So after I graduated college, I was kind of in a position where I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I gone to school and took all this time to get a degree. But once I got out, everything didn't line up like I thought it was going to be. So I knew that I needed to get a master's degree in order to continue on. And I didn't have money to pay for it. I saw some commercials on TV that said, hey, the military will pay for you to go to school. And so I literally walked into a recruiter's office one day and said, hurry up, sign me up before I change my mind. And joined the Air Force. And soon as I signed the papers, they sent me off to boot camp and school. And my first duty station was Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
And so that's how my family and I got to Wichita.
So you've been working now, after you left the military, you've been working in the community. Tell us, what are some of the greatest challenges facing the African American community in Wichita today, from your point of view?
That's a great question. So I look at it in a couple of different ways, things that we can actually do and things that we actually need to modify our behavior. So one thing that I think that's really tangible that African Americans can do is, instead of competing, start collaborating. And that's a really important tenet to, I think, progression and growth. If we stop pulling each other down and start lifting each other up, I think we'll be a lot more effective in our approach to breaking the poverty cycle, to getting the goods, needs, and services that some of the Black and brown communities are without at this time. And so then I think some of the things that we can do are, instead of just waiting for someone else to come in and actually do some of these things, we can actually start, again, collaborating, but start working towards those goals. So when we have common goals, when we have things that we're trying to achieve together, I believe that we can do a lot in this community. And so that's hopefully what my wife and my family, we're trying to model that behavior. And then hopefully people see it and are like, man, that seems like it works, let's do it. So I'm excited about some of the things that are happening in the community, and we're excited to be a part of it.
What excites you? What's happening that excites you?
So one really cool thing, I have what I call passion projects, and one is the revitalization of the historic Dunbar Theater on 9th and Cleveland, and it's the concept from Mr. James and Susie Arbertha to have a multicultural arts center in the epicenter of the historically Black and brown community. And what that idea, I really gravitated towards it because I know that the arts is big for the African American community, but then there's some economic development and things that we know can move the community forward that can stem from that. So from one, we'll just call it domino, like the revitalizing the historic Dunbar Theater to become a multicultural arts center. But from that will come all these really cool housing projects, all the getting a grocery store, getting viable businesses in the area. And so now we're looking at building out a community, and we've seen that happen in different parts of town. And we know that the model is good. I think the Dunbar Theater could be one of those. It could be like one of those dominoes. So when the first domino falls, then all the rest of them fall after that. So I'm excited about projects like that.
Now that takes a lot of money. How are you planning to do that?
It takes a lot of money, and we need, it takes, there's the saying, it's like it takes a village. It's definitely going to take a village to do something like this. Right now we're looking at about $18 million for the whole campus to revitalize and get everything to where it needs to be. But the money is here. I'm less worried about the money, actually, more worried about the mindset. Once we get our minds wrapped around things, once we understand how this one particular project not only benefits that community, but benefits the city and the region as a whole, then I think it'll be easy. So I'm all about getting the right people in the room at the right time that can make those decisions.
And getting the right people on the right seats at the right time in the room, right?
Yes, sir.
Who is Darryl today? Tell us, who are you?
Wow, that's a great question. So I recently lost my job. The prior job that I had, and that really took me through an amazing kind of journey, right? My identity was tied to my work. I thought that if I had this job or had this title or had this status, that was Darryl. But through that, I really learned that that's not who I was. That was just a part of me, but that's not who I was. And I was really blessed to be able to have some time off to really kind of wrap my head around what are the things that I wanted to do, what are the things that drive me, what are the things that I'm passionate about. And so this Darryl that's sitting talking to you right now, Victor, is a lot more clear-eyed, a lot more purposeful in the things that I do and the things that I say. And so I'm really excited to be at the point that I'm at right now in my life. I have an amazing wife, amazing children. I have wonderful family, friends, and a great support system. So the Darryl that you see now is about my actions have to line up with my words. So if I say something, I'm gonna do it. And if I don't have anything to say, then I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. So that's the Darryl you're talking to right now.
So how do you see yourself different from others?
I don't really look at it that way. I know that God has a purpose for my life and a plan for my life. And the main thing that I want to do is honor him and glorify him in everything that I do. And so that's whether I'm at work or being a husband, father, son, brother, uncle, whatever the case might be, neighbor. Those are the things that I want to do. I want to make sure that when people see me, they see Christ. And that's all I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to help people out any way that I can and be a part of the solution and not be a part of the problem.
You talked about losing your job, but you do have a job.
So I work for Equity Bank, one of the assistant vice presidents there. I work in IT, and just so fortunate to have found a wonderful family in Equity Bank, and really we're doing some amazing stuff there. So I'm really excited to be at Equity, and what we're doing and how we're growing is pretty amazing.
Darryl, how would you be a different man today were it not for your military service? Did that play a significant role in your life?
Wow. So when I joined the military, I think I said it earlier, to get a master's degree. And, I was able to accomplish that and worked out really well. But what I did not anticipate or expect was meeting all the heroes. I mean, all over the world. I've been able to meet and work alongside with some of the most amazing people that you've ever met, and their dedication to this country, their dedication to their family and protecting our freedoms that we have now is amazing. So when I think back and I ponder like what did my time mean, my time in the military, it really allowed me to see, first of all, that there are some people that are, extremely dedicated and focused to this country and the protection of it. But then it also brought out the leader in me. So my whole life, people have seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. And so the military really brought that out of me. And, I was put in charge of, I went into the military a lot older, and I was put in charge of some, amazing young troops that really, that's who's doing a lot of the brunt work protecting our country. But I was able to lead them and try to grow them professionally and personally, and that changed my life. So when I got out, it wasn't a question of if I was ready. It was just what issue or thing was I going to tackle next. And
So as a result of that, the chamber, Greater Wichita Chamber of Commerce, recognized you recently, about 2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
With an award?
Yeah, that was pretty shocking. So the Exceptional Young Leader Award, and it was a really amazing, honor to receive that award, basically for my contributions to, the city, to the chamber, and basically doing things outside of my, job description, like what I go to work to do, from 8 to 5, but really being involved in a lot of things outside of that. And it has provided me a lot of, I can pick up the phone and call certain people now, and they answer it because of
Several contacts.
things like that.
Right. Now, you mentioned your wife earlier and your family. Your wife is Jackie Kelly, and she is the city attorney for the city of Bel Air. And we had her on this program about 2 years ago.
She mentions that to me, that she beat me to being on the show. So she has me on that one for sure.
But on that show, you made a guest appearance.
I did make a guess.
Yes. So let's watch a clip of that.
Oh, wow.
And Darryl and I grew up together. So we were, we would have known each other since we were like 15. And so the neat thing about us is we started as friends, young friends, and we've kind of, like Darryl said, figured out this life thing together. So we're on the same page. Like we're so on the same page.
Well, that is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Darryl, so do you agree on everything that you still agree with what was said?
Absolutely. Definitely, if Jackie's watching, I definitely agree with it.
So how did you all meet?
We met in high school, and what was so neat about it, we met in it was a college preparatory class, and Jackie tells this story all the time, but I guess I had all of my things together. Like I had all my papers and college applications and scholarships, all that kind of stuff together. And when Jackie saw that, her desk just kind of floated towards mine. And we've been together ever since. I have an amazing wife. I mean, she is my better half. And what we try to do is be an example for our kids. We have amazing kids, but we try to be an example for them as a young Black couple. And we really try to help anyone that, you know, needs help. So that's our passion.
So would that be your parenting philosophy?
So I'll tell you a cool story. So on this past Thanksgiving, we usually have it's a service day for us. So we either go volunteer at a soup kitchen or somewhere handing out or donating food. This year we weren't able to go. My wife and I weren't able to go, but my kids said, "Dad, we're going, whether y'all go or not." And they went and volunteered at Bethel Life Church and were able to do some really cool things to help out people during that time. So those are the kind of things that make us proud as parents, but I think they saw that, you know, kind of actions, and they're resembling that. And so we know you train up a child the way they should go, and when they grow older, they won't depart. So that's our philosophy. Try to model the behavior for them to act out.
What is the biggest mistake that young people make today, Darryl? You've been working with young people in this community.
Wow, that's a really good question. I think maybe not having enough patience to really get a full grasp on a situation. Sometimes people make rash decisions, and I think sometimes that could hurt. I'm all for, like, part of my goal is to attract, retain, and develop young talent, period, in Wichita. And that's a really big deal. Like, our biggest export is talent. And so we want to make sure that we keep it here. But I think some young or professionals are just, they think the grass is greener on the other side, and they jump ship maybe before they get a full explanation or rundown on how things should go. So you're saying
patience is the key? Yeah.
Patience is a virtue.
What is the biggest mistake you've made?
I really don't look at it like that, Victor. I look at it like everything happens for a reason. Okay. Everything that has happened in my life has happened for a reason. Now, did I like some of the outcomes? No, but I think I've learned from it. I think you learn the biggest lessons from either failures or mistakes. So I don't call them mistakes, I just call them opportunities for growth or opportunities to learn.
What about the best decision you've made?
That's pretty easy. So choosing Christ was the best decision I've ever made. Next would be marrying Jackie. And then definitely our kids are a bright spot in our lives.
Okay, Darryl, we play a little game on this program, as you probably know. And I like to start a sentence and you'll finish it.
Okay.
All right? The first one, I just can't get enough of.
Seriously good TV.
Okay. That's a good one.
That's a good.
Okay. I'm so tired of, and don't say seriously good TV. You know.
Inaction.
Okay. Sometimes I wish.
I was about to do the Gatorade commercial that, you know, like I was Michael Jordan, but I don't think I wish for anything. I'm either, like I said, I'm either gonna do something about it or I'm not gonna talk about it.
So people who disagree with me on politics are?
Probably everybody, because I'm not in politics.
Do you have any political ambition?
So I've been
One time
asked
I said I accused you of trying to run to be mayor.
I've been asked that question quite a bit, and you know, my first answer was absolutely not. Right now, I'll just say stay tuned.
Okay, so then people who disagree with me on politics are?
I don't know if I met anybody that disagreed with me.
Okay. The famous person I most admire is?
Man, these are some good questions, Victor. Famous person I most admire. I'm going to change it up on you just a little bit. The people I most admire are my parents.
Are they famous?
To me, yes.
Okay, that's good enough. So what is your guiding light in times of trouble?
So when I find myself in predicaments where myself personally, I can't get out, I turn to my Bible, I turn to prayer, and then I either consult with my pastor or my wife. That's usually, or my friends. I have a really good support system, so that's where I turn to.
Any goal yet to be accomplished?
I'm just getting started, Victor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The best is yet to come?
Best is yet to come. It's a lot of areas that, quite frankly, need someone with a vision and someone that's ready to take action. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm just getting started.
Any pet peeves that you have?
I like to keep my car clean. That's probably pet peeve.
What would you consider your yardstick for success?
When I come home, if my kids tell me they're proud of me, I think that's good.
And my final question, what do you enjoy best about life at your age right now?
Right now, I'm loving life. Primarily because I'm a little more clear-eyed on what my purpose is. And so right now, each day is getting sweeter and sweeter. I'm enjoying my marriage, I'm enjoying my children, I'm enjoying my work, I'm enjoying the things that we're doing in the community. I think that's impactful. So I'm loving life right now, Victor.
All right. I enjoyed speaking with you, Darryl Kelly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me.
God bless you. Thank you, Victor.
It.
Yes.
And thank you for watching this edition of One-on-One. One-on-One at kpts.org is our email address if you have a question or comment. We always like hearing from you. Until next time, I'm Victor Hogstrom. Be well, and I'll see you again soon.